I'm Kill, I'm the Sheikah, and I play Zelda randomizers. This is the first video of a series called Play Rando with me, where I take you through Zelda randomizers and guide you on how to start playing them. This series is meant to help beginners get started on randomizers, but feel free to watch and have some background noise and some good gameplay. The first video in this series is going to guide you on how to play Majora's Mask Randomizer. I came up with some settings that I thought would be nice for beginners just to get started, since Majora's Mask can be pretty intimidating. But I got you got nothing to worry about, so let's go ahead and set up our seed. So Majora's Mask is unique because you do have to sometimes roll presets through Discord, at least as far as the main seed bot goes. So if you haven't already, make yourself a Discord account. Go ahead and join the Bunny Hood Club, which is linked in the description below. And once you get here, go ahead, read through the rules. They are not very complicated. Go through any part of the server you want to check out. And once you're ready to get started, you're going to go ahead and head over to the category MMR Bunny Hood. So let's start by looking at the category. What is the MMR Bunny Hood seed? I give you a little blurb right here about it, and we are going to go over the settings before we even get our seeds. So to start with, you are going to have 2 pre-completed dungeons. That means that you are going to not have to even touch 2 of the dungeons, because every check in them is nothing you have to look into, including checks that come after completing that dungeon. So if it has to do with this dungeon, you do not have to do it. The logic is set to casual, so you don't have any special tricks you're going to need to know to get through the settings. The item placement will be random. You're going to start with a lot for these settings. So you're going to start with the Deku Mask, the Goron Mask, and the Zora Mask. Those are your main transformation masks. You're going to start with also the Fierce Deity Mask, which is going to be very helpful during boss fights, including Majora's and phases. And then you start with the Bunny Hood because, you know, theming. You're also going to start with the Stone Mask. This mask is not going to get you any additional checks. It's only really going to get you the ability to get by some enemies without being seen. You're going to have Romani's Mask, so that way you can go to the milk bar at night and buy some drinks if you have the money. You're going to have the Great Fairy Sword. Again, nothing that'll get you more checks, just something that'll help with fighting. 1 empty bottle, mainly because there are a couple checks that involved an empty bottle, but also so you can have something to put your Romani bar drinks in. The powder keg, so we can have access to Romani Ranch at any time. The Ocarina time, this is in most of your standard settings. You are going to start with the Ocarina, so that way you don't get hard locked out of the game. You start with the Song of Time for the same reason. Song of Soaring, so that way we start with some fast travel. Epona Song, so that way more of the world is open right away. Song of Storms, because this, with the help of Song of Healing, only gets you 1 check. So it would be a disappointment if you found the Song of Storms in these settings, so we're just going to start you with that. And then you start with the 2 songs connected to your pre-completed dungeons, so that way you don't pick up those either, since in this case, unless if it's Sonata of Awakening, those songs are already just useless. We're going to give you an adult wallet so you can afford Chateau Romani when you go into the milk bar at night. Both the Razor Sword and the Gilded Sword, so basically you just start right away with the Gilded Sword. Something nice and strong and something that's not going to be holding you back as far as combat goes. A shield, spin attack mastery, and double defense as well, just to get you started on your first randomizers. You're going to start with all the maps and compasses, so that way you don't have to feel lost, and of course the 2 boss remains that we spoke about earlier. Other settings involved, you're going to have progressive items. That I'll explain as we go. No keys, including small keys or boss keys, so none of your doors are locked. And then we don't have to worry about collecting dungeon fairies. Besides North Clocktown Great Fairy, none of the Great Fairies in this game are going to be any checks you have to do. We also have some gimmicks and comfort, mainly quality of life help things. So the Blast Mask will have an instant cooldown, so you can just blast that mask away once you find it. As a Zora, you can use an underwater ocarina. We have Sun Song enabled. Be careful with the Sun Song. What that is going to do is that is going to heavily speed up time until you load a new area. So you might want to be right next to a door you can run through if you're going to use Song of Time just in case, and don't, make the moon go crashing into Termina. You're also going to get free Scarecrow songs, so that way, if you are in the vicinity of a Scarecrow that you would use to hookshot, you don't have to go in the cycle that you're playing in and play a song for the Scarecrow. You simply have to take out your ocarina when you're close enough to one, and one will pop up. And then we just have some sped up things, like we only need one fish in the lab fish check. You have a faster bank, so instead of the bank checks being at 500 rupees, 1,000 rupees, and 5,000 rupees, it's instead going to be 200 rupees, 500 rupees, and 1,000 rupees at most for your bank. We have Good Dog Race RNG, so if you have the Mask of Truth, you just go and pick up the golden dog and bring that to the lady to place your bet. If you don't have the Mask of Truth, I believe it's a 1 in 8 chance, but that check takes a long time. So I honestly, with those odds, those aren't worth it to me. We have quick text. We have increased push speed, lenient Goron spikes, so they don't go away as easily, and so you have an easier time navigating with the Goron. Because you're going to learn to like doing that, I'm sure. If you're Z-targeting, there's a health bar, so you just know where you're at with your enemies. There is wallet filling. Every time you get a new wallet, your wallet's just going to immediately come full. The quest item exchange storage, we'll talk about that more when we're playing, but basically if there are items that take up one item slot, like your land or your title deeds or your Anju Cafe quest stuff, we can actually rotate through the items with the A button. We also have arrow cycling with the R button once you pull an arrow, so that way you can cycle through your magic arrows. We have elegy speed up, so that way your elegy statues don't take too long, and we have shortened cutscenes, which during a randomizer you're going to prefer. Alrighty, so once you're all set up, if you aren't set up, go ahead and stop by MMR Setup and Resources so you can figure out how to set up your emulator or EverDrive. Please own a copy of the ROM legally, and I am not going to help you illegally find a ROM. So go ahead and do what you got to do to purchase a ROM on your own, so that way you can play this without any repercussions. Alrighty, so in the seed bot, I have typed in, you'll type in !MMR seed and bunny hood. If you want to make your own seed, you can just go ahead and use the one I had the seed bot generate here. So today's date is the 26th of April in 2024. So as you can see, this is going to say today since I'm filming this right now, but you're going to want to find the seed made by me with the hash Deku Scrub, Captain's Hat, Fire Arrow, Room Key, and Ocarina of Time. And then I went ahead and typed in MMR spoiler, and it gave me the spoilers. So now go ahead and just download the patch and download the spoiler. They're good to have. Okay, from here, you should have in your downloads folder the patch, which will end in .mmr, and the spoiler log, which usually comes as a text file. I'll go ahead and put those in their spot in my computer momentarily, but for now, you're going to want to have the latest version of MMR as of right now open. This is not the beta version. We could do beta version seeds in the future, but for now we're just going to be on the main branch, which the seed is 1.15.2.1. So you can see that when we bring Discord up, it'll tell you in the title of the patch as well as the spoiler log which version you need in order to play the ROM. Again, 1.15.2.1, so that's the version of the randomizer I have open right here. That's the little folder. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's open up the randomizer, 1.15.2.1. So these are all the settings we've gone over, from the main settings, the item randomization. This is done very specifically by me, so that way we can focus on what we want to focus on. You don't have to worry about this part right now. The gimmicks are all on as they are, so that way that and the comfort is there for you. As we see, we have a lot of comfort involved, short cutscenes. Cosmetics, be yourself here. Oh, by the way, for your own sake, make sure default hold Z target is selected. You will thank yourself later. Check that. And play with the cosmetics. As you see, I may or may not be a little bit of a fan of purple and green. I also enjoy randomizing my sound effects. You can add custom music into your randomizer folder if you ever want to, but that is another video for another day. So, you're going to, in this field, you're going to make sure you have your vanilla ROM that this is a path to. So that's my ROM that I have. And then from here, we're going to hit patch settings, load patch, and you're going to load the .mmr patch that we downloaded. So I'm going to go ahead and head to my downloads. I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to apply patch. This is going to be pathed to where I want it to be, which for me, I play a lot of Zelda randos, so I will be planning on doing more of these videos of different kinds. I'm going to go to seeds and spoilers. I'm going to hit open and save. Awesome. So we generate it. Complete. While I'm at it, this might not be as concerning to you. I'm going to go ahead and put these files in the, I'm going to go ahead and put these files in the seeds and spoilers folder that I have made for myself just for organization purposes. From here, you're simply going to load up the game in your emulator or EverDrive. That is a different video on how to set up. I personally only have emulators as well as original hardware. I do not have an EverDrive, as cool as they are. So I will be playing on my computer today and every day. Another thing you might want to consider setting up is some kind of tracker so you can have an at-a-glance information of everything you have right away. So one of the most common trackers used for mini randos is the emo tracker. I'll go ahead and put a link to that into the description as well. As you see, I already have the Majora's Mask map tracker installed. I'm not going to be using this while we're going, but it is a great start. So I would say go ahead, once you download Emo Tracker, you're going to go ahead and go up to Package Manager. You're going to click on that and scroll down to Majora's Mask Randomizer. So I have the Blade Fang FT and Techie map tracker installed. So you can go ahead and it'll say install for you right here. Go ahead and install that one. And then I have a file that'll be specific to these settings made by a good friend, Blondie Panda. She is fantastic. She is a mentor that you'll meet in the Bunnyhood Club should you join it. And so what you're going to do for that is you are going to go to Settings, Application, File, Open. As you see, you could save if you need to put it down and come back later. But we're going to open it up. I don't need that second one. I'll go ahead and delete it. But I went ahead and found that file for you. So we're going to go ahead and load that. That is almost complete. It has the masks we start with. We do also start with the powder keg in these settings. But there is our map tracker. You can use that to basically just have a good track of where you are. So all these groupings right here, that's your main like Clocktown stuff. Termina Field surrounds that. We go up to the mountains in the north. We have the canyon and other stuff referring to that in the east. South is your swamp area. Southwest is your ranch. To the west, you have the Great Bay, and it has all of the areas in the whole game. And this over here, that is just bottle contents. You don't really have to worry too much about that. Okay, so we are almost to the fun part. I just wanted to show you my notes. These are a reduced version of my normal notes, and we won't be needing this one right here, which is my MMR timed checks. I now use this one more as a checklist to make sure I got everything I need there. But for the most part, with the settings we have and the checks selected, I really don't need this, so I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that today. But my good friend, Not Your Average Person, who is the creator of the Bunnyhood Discord, the Bunnyhood Club Discord that is, he went ahead and made that checklist. So if you would like that, go ahead and ask for it for me or Nyep, or really anybody in the server might have it. And then I also have my item notes that I like to write down. This is for writing down where I got the item, so I could use, so I don't have to remember so much whenever I find my Way of the Hero hints, my foolish location hints. That's this nah right here. I don't really need this one too much. This is your bomber hideout code. And then spider house colors. We do not need the spider house colors at all for these settings, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I like to keep track of any large checks that I'm not able to get to, so I have a category. I guess I'll go back later. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and go for it. I got my notes ready. I got my tracker ready. This part is probably not going to be very heavily edited or cut usually, so I'm not going to be doing any timing either, since this is more for teaching. I can get the map tracker to go away, but I would rather fill in the space at the moment. So that way I might hit it now every now and then, fill it in a bit so you can see where checks are. Let's go ahead and make a profile. So if you know me, you know I have a name for Link every single time I have 8 characters to use. This is for me. You don't have to use this name. You use whatever name you want. Notice we have the hash, which is, again, our Deku Scrub mask, our captain's hat, our fire arrows, room key, and Ocarina of Time. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just jump right in. Now, before we even do that, you see we have Aldolwa and Georg as our pre-completed dungeons. So everything to do with Windfall Temple, everything to do with Great Bay in the dungeon and afterwards, we don't have to worry about. In fact, anything after a dungeon in these settings, we really don't have to worry about either. So one thing I'm also going to have linked in the description below is the checklist of all the checks in the game. We don't have to do many of them. We start with 7 masks, and as you see, our tracker shows which 7 those are with the one that we loaded in, the file that we already loaded in, which is all of our transformation masks, our stone mask, our popular bunny hood, and our remaining masks. So I went ahead, the ocarina is already checked. I'm going to check the powder keg because I know that's part of these settings. Let's go ahead and jump in. So here we have dawn of the first day. 72 hours remain. Alrighty. So I have everything in purple. Oh, we also have the Great Fairy Sword as well as a bottle. It's good to make sure your tracker is up to date. This tracker does not have bottles up there. They're down here. Never mind. I just found it. So I like to get started by putting what I like where I like in these settings and for funsies. Okay, so Tettle's going to have stuff to say. Goron is fastest, so I always turn into a Goron. I almost never get in the correct position. There's a piece of heart up there. What I like to start with is getting the fairy in the laundry pool. So here we go. I'll go ahead and become a Deku Scrub so that way I don't have to climb in and out of the water. And in these settings, if you mash A, you can hop forever, which is super fun. All right, let's grab $5. Awesome. So we're going to roll over to our owl statue and get that activated by turning into Human Link and hitting it with our sword. The quality of life features on this are just awesome. Having the transformation masks on the D-pad is like my favorite. So I like to route as much as I can through Clocktown when I play. We have some beans. So I'm going to go ahead, hop up there as human. Oopsies. And we're going to go ahead and hop on over. You can take the whole way around if you'd like to. And from here, let's go ahead, be a Zora. Knock Tingle down. Now, this is the only Tingle that has a time, and that is during the day. He's always around during the day. He goes away at night. I didn't have to take off my mask for that. Tingle will sell to anybody. We have $5, so we can do the Clocktown map. We have light arrows for 40, so we're going to come back to that. All right, from here, I'm going to go drop off my fairy in the Great Fairy Fountain as a Goron, and then I'm going to come back and be a human and get the second check, because there are 2 checks right here. We start off with an additional bottle. All right, well, we can hold more with 2 bottles. All right, so I'm going to go in again. I'll go ahead and take off my mask here. You do want to reload this area. And we have a mirror shield. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and check that. On Emo Tracker, you just click over the shield and it should upgrade to the mirror. Alrighty. Now, we're going to start right away with a little bit of fun. Or you know what? This is our first time. Let's go ahead and do this the right way. So, oopsies, I meant to be a Zora. We're going to pop the balloon. We're going to talk to Jim. Jim is the bomber with the red bandana or hat, whatever you want to see that as. All right, we need to talk to Jim as a human. That is important. And agree to find all the children. You have until the end of each night to find them all. So I have till 6 a.m. of the second day to find them. Should be pretty easy with the bunny hood. You don't accidentally want to tag the children as any of the other forms. They can be knocked down. I like to use the bow often when I do this check. In fact, I usually ditch this check to start with, but we're going to try and keep this as glitch-free, as cheat-free as possible to get you going. But I'm going to show you in a bit. I'm not even going to memorize the code. I believe it's going to give the both of us the same code if we use the same seed. I'm not sure, but I think that's how it works. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. And while I'm here, I just want to mention there's not a lot on this side of town to do. At least not yet. The only thing we're going to do is hop across these platforms. Whee! And check the check behind archery. So since this is a regular wooden chest, it's not going to have any progressive items. Just a piece of heart. Just nice to have. Alrighty. Let's check this platform here. There's nothing special there, so we don't necessarily have to do that. And then there's our bank. I'm going to go ahead and grab or at least check to see what item this is. That is Cafe's letter. So in these settings, we do not particularly need that. However, we are going to want one piece of paper, so we might consider buying that later. Alrighty, I would go to swordsman school if I had $10, but I only have 5 right now. So we got our code. Bombers are going to give us an item, which is a piece of paper. So we do not need to get any other paper in this seed. And I will tell you why. I took all of these special items like this. I took all the checks that come after that out, except for the toilet paper and the stock pot in. So I'm going to go ahead and write this down on my settings, or on my notes as North Clocktown. I just go ahead and minimize it to NCT just so I can have some shorthand. And I'm going to give this to the toilet hand later. So I got the code 14532. Now I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to bother to remember that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run to East Clocktown. And I'm going to go ahead. And you can put in the code, or you can do that cool backflip right there. So from here, I'm going to see if I need to come back to the sewers later with bombs. It looks like the chest is not big enough for us to need. I like to just double check by rendering it, but usually you won't even see it if it's not a gilded chest. So one more quick check. Oh, it is a gilded chest. So I'm going to go ahead and write down the East Clocktown sewers. And I'll know what that means because I've played this enough. But if you want to note that you need bombs or blast masks, so basically explosives, in order to get over there, you can. I mean, we could get there with the powder keg, but that seems kind of silly. Here's a fun little tip. If you do backflip into the bomber's hideout, instead of using Zora's boomerangs or your bow or your hook shot, if you found those, you can just simply throw a pot. There's 10 rupees right here. That last pot has magic in it, but we don't have magic yet, so we're not going to get that right away. Awesome. We can see we're just going to get a piece of heart. We'll go ahead and grab it. But here's a fun way to get everything you need from the telescope. You are going to just hover over here and quickly zoom in on the skull kid. This timing should allow the scrub to go into the grotto right when the camera will pass over it. So that should be perfect. The moon cries the piece of heart. Scrub is going into the grotto now. You see that? Skull Kid says, "Kiss my booty." And we exit from there. Alrighty, so we're going to go through the door. We're going to grab our piece of heart. And we're going to run around the corner right here and go see what the Gossip Stone says. Oh my goodness, I think I forgot to hit my statue. Oh no, but we do have the... Oh my gosh, my cat's right behind me. The Road to Southern Swamp as one of our WOTH locations. So I'll go ahead and write that down. And I think I completely forgot to get my owl. Oh no, I didn't. Oh good. I'm very forgetful. If you know me, you know that about me. So that is a reoccurring thing for me, is just remembering if I got the stupid owl or not. Alrighty, so I think I'm good from here. I'm going to go ahead and head to Termina Field. Remembering that I do need to talk to Tingle during the day when I have 40 rupees for light arrows. So we're going to speed up by being a Goron. I like to go straight towards the P-Hat Grotto. It's in the grass by these butterflies. When I Z-target, there's the health bar. Makes it nice and easy for me to know where I'm at. And you only need 4 swings of the Great Fairy Sword. But the pea hat will only be available during the day, so keep that in mind. Alrighty. We got a bigger wallet, so that is going to fill up my wallet. Alrighty, so here's what I would do from here. I'm going to go ahead and get the hint by the tree right outside. Avoid the stupid evil vulture that flies around here. There's the red dot on the map, the mini map, that's your vulture. So the treasure chest Goron game is something we do not have to do. So that would be a good time to go to our map tracker. Let's see here. That would be East Clocktown. That's West Clocktown. And that's the Stockpot Inn, East Clocktown. We do not need to do the treasure game. So we're just going to go ahead and mark that right off the tracker. And that is something we don't have to do later. Yay! All right, with 500 rupees, we have a lot to start with. First, let's go ahead and get our Milk Road as well as our ranch checks done. But before we do, let's check the Gossip Stone. Because if we find out we don't need to do either one of those, we want to know that. We don't need the Poe Hut. So the Poe Hut is going to be in Icona Canyon. What I can do on Emo Tracker is hold shift. And I could find, that's the Gibdo's mask. Here's the Poe Hut. So I'm going to go ahead and at least try and mark that. Okay, I don't think it's going to allow me to mark that as dead in these settings, but I can remember that. Or I can simply make a spot, write it down under my dead checks. So I will go ahead and put in Poe Hut. There we go. Problem solved. Oopsies. Let's bring my tracker back. Awesome. So from here, let's go ahead and run over to these bros. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and slow down time for myself now. What a beautiful song. All right, so I slowed time down so I can just have more time to do all the checks I want to do before nightfall. And then I'm going to call Epona over. You will start these settings with Epona. In fact, we only have 3 areas where we're going to check songs. We start off with the rest of them. These guys are judgy. I take my hat off. So the Milk Road horse race, it's only 10 rupees. Ooh, those boys are scary. So once I'm out of Z targeting range, I'm going to just Z target for the rest of this race. It just makes you a little bit more in control over your direction. Excuse you. Gonna let that refill. Awesome. So we should have won that. And we didn't get much from that. From here, I'm gonna be a Goron. All right, we're gonna roll on over to the boulder. And we start with our powder keg. We don't have a bow yet, so we are gonna have to wait. But we don't have to do Epona's song in order to move on from here. But one reason why we want to go into the ranch is because there are 5 hints here. And hints are your saving grace in these settings. So we already knew that one. You will find repeat hints. They will make you a little bit upset sometimes. And that's okay. There's another hint behind the farmhouse here. Or maybe it's the stable. The road to Icona is foolish. So I'm going to go ahead and put road to Icona Canyon in my notes. And I know that this check right here will be dead, as well as any other checks. Oops, I keep doing that pop up in road to Icona Canyon, which is different than Icona Canyon itself. We're going to go over to this tree where we have another hint. Sometimes the hints don't want to be read. Okay, so these hints are on important, or they're by importance. And as you see, we will not be needing the Bremen's mask. So this is the business scrub in Termina Field. We don't have to buy anything from that scrub, but that's the scrub we watch go into the grotto. I'll still stop by to show it to you, but we don't need that. So, Termina Field business scrub. There we go. I can't spell business. Too many S's. Alrighty. So we got 2 more hints to get still and 1 check. Isn't the Goron so fast? You don't think about it, but he is. So we'll go ahead and grab this hint. Road to Southern Swamp is Way of the Hero. We knew that already. And that chest is nothing, so I'm going to just go ahead and leave it. I don't feel the need to grab that. We have 1 more hint we're going to want to grab. And once again, we got a repeat hint. So I'm going to head back to the owl statue on Milk Road. I do want to go to Southern Swamp, especially since the road to Southern Swamp is Way of the Hero. But for learning purposes, I'm going to go ahead and make the Termina Field route first. We also have plenty of hints in Termina as well. And before I get to the Dodongos, I am going to fly to Clocktown and drop money. But this grotto is one of your 4 Gossip Stone grottos. This is a check, but we will not have to do them in these settings. Zora Cape is somewhere we do not have to find anything today. So I'm going to put ZC. Oh, Romani Ranch is Wath. So Romani Ranch. We don't need the Bremen's mask. We probably do need the Mask of Truth. That's really the only check we have left there. Southern Swamp is Way of the Hero. Now, I use SS for Southern Swamp, but you might come across Secret Shrine. I put Secret, like the first 2 syllables or the first syllable of each one. Town Archery is something we don't have to worry about today. Awesome. Okay, moving on. Having so many hints up front is going to help you a lot, just in general, in any set of settings. So we're going to go right by the swamp for now. We'll come back later. Okay. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and look at this hint. Secret Shrine Wart. Wart is one of the biggest pains in the butt enemies to fight. So we're not going to fight them. Alrighty. So before I get this check out of logic, I am going to go ahead and create a save state on my emulator. Excuse me, I said I'm going to create a save state. There we go. So this is actually against the rules in certain race settings. You might not want to do this if you want to learn to race, but I'm not going to keep this item. Oops, I already messed it up. But what you can do is you can be right here on the seam, center this seam. You can just about line it up with your sword, and you could just walk right up this seam, specifically the one in the back and to the left if you're looking from the chest, or at the chest this way. So I'll open it, see what it is. Oh, you know what? It's a heart container. That's not going to add any additional checks to my game. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it since it's not a progressive item. But then we're going to turn back into a Goron because we like to go fast. There's a grotto right here. And there's a chest over there that has something. And there's a chest in here that has something. In these generic grottos, you got a fish. You got some Deku Bubbas that have, these ones have sticks. And the little ones have Deku nuts. So, for some reason, they haven't figured out how to not show this item for the first time in this game. But you know what? We're thankful. All right, Picto Box. Southern Swamp is one of our ways of the hero. And I'm going to go ahead and mark that we got the Picto Box on the tracker as well as on my list. So, this is Termina Field. So I'm just going to mark it like that. Bum, 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 bum. I love me some Koji Kondo. All right, let's see what's in this chest back here. Excuse you. This mask to us is unfortunately completely useless, but we'll go ahead and mark that we have it for the sake of the tracker. Alrighty. So going this way, by the way, this tree right here. Oh, there's the part timer. It always has some money in it. So you can always grab that if you want to. So here's that business scrub that will have the Bremen's mask. Luckily, he will just tell us what item he has. Yeah, see, there's your Bremen mask. I don't want it. If you had less than the amount that he's offering to buy and you say yes, he'll just go ahead and say no and leave right then. So heads up there. Okay. Now I'm going to go into this pillar grotto. It's the one, if you're looking from Clocktown, it's the first one on the right. You just climb right up. Don't worry, that bomb tree won't catch up. Just jump into the pillar, or into the hole. There's nothing in that chest, so I'm going to turn around and leave. Okay, before I move on, I'm going to drop my rupees off because the next check we're heading to is the Dodongos, and we're going to get 100 rupees from them. But we do have a couple checks in the bank. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, I want to say, oh, but before we do, let's go ahead and grab those light arrows. We don't have magic and we don't have a bow, so we don't have the ability to use them. Oopsies. But they're just really nice to have for later. Plus, light arrows are also a good source of money. So if you're low on money, you can go shoot a few different enemies with a light arrow, and they will just automatically become a purple rupee, which is worth $50. So light arrows. Nice. Alrighty. We're going to go to swordsman school because it's 24 hours. Go ahead and get our light arrows marked while we're thinking about it. Okay, we do have to be a human. We have to not wear our ears. So, don't mash A through this. Go to your expert course. And make sure you do all jump slashes. Z target, wait like a quarter of a second for Link to turn the correct direction. Then do a jump slash on all of the logs that pop up. That way you get 3 points each you will get a perfect score. I start by facing one way because there's always one on the left and one on the right. All right, so we didn't really need to do that. But to be fair, in these settings, we're actually looking for very few items specifically. So it kind of doesn't really matter all that much. Alrighty. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump all of these rupees right now. Yay. And only 50 more. We only have bank checks 1 and 2. We don't have to get 1,000 rupees in. If you do, it's because you just like to have the money. And that is a perfectly good reason to put it in the bank. That way you can buy Chatao for as many cycles as you can afford to. We don't have to worry about the inn reservation, so we can let that Goron have it. And I came back through here because there is a hint right here that I want to grab. Deku Playground. Okay, unfortunately, I'm not showing you how the Deku Playground is going to happen today, which is a little sad because it's really easy to do on day 2, but I have to show you that then, I guess. So, Deku Playground. There we go. Typing one-handed is not my thing. Alrighty. Here's a gossip stone here. Oh my goodness, read it. We already knew that. I'm going to go ahead and jump into this grotto. This is the grotto with the Dodongos I was telling you about. So, I'm going to kind of face tank this since we're at 5 hearts. You might only be at 4 if you didn't get that heart container, and that's okay. Oopsies. Somehow that hit him in the tail. It makes no sense, but I'm not going to complain. Awesome. So see, each Dodongo is going to give you 50 rupees, which gives you 100. Ooh, and the Dodongos seem to have something. So let's see if it's something valuable to us. Technically, no. You'll see why when we get to fighting Twinmold, which we will be doing in this seed today. Alrighty, so before I move on towards the ocean, there's one gossip stone up here that I don't want to miss. Alright. Town archery, I believe we already knew. Yeah, we already knew that that was a check we were not going to have to do. So, yay, let's move on. So the Goron punch can work as explosives, and we can knock this boulder down. Alright, so in this grotto, we need our Zora mask. And you are going to come up to the edge of this little platform. You're going to basically cover this beehive with your head. And it's a piece of heart. If you're lucky enough for that to happen with a different item and you're not a Zora, you can go ahead and grab it. I'm not too worried about it, so I'm going to just leave it behind. But if you want to pause this video and grab it, ooh, excuse me, hiccups, by all means, please do. This chest looks small. It is. So it's not going to be an item that's saved through time. It's going to be more toilet paper. So if you wanted to, you could mark that. I'm not even going to really bother putting this in my notes, considering I don't need it. Alrighty. So that is all of Termina Field. We are now headed towards the road to Southern Swamp, where we have some items that, oh, that's the Milk Road, where we have some items we might very well need. Yay! Alrighty. So the first one we're going to check is this grotto here. Lens of Truth. So I'm going to just move my lens in my notes down to my Road to Southern Swamp spot, because that very well might be important. So now I know it's there. It's noted. Let's see here. What do we have next? Okay, so I may or may have accidentally deleted my notes while checking on a setting or a check that I was seeing if I needed to do. So if you see me refilling in some notes that I have already filled out, my bad. Anyway, let's continue on. So we can check the tree. And we can check Tingle. Alrighty, so we check the tree with projectiles. So I'm going to take care of this, bro. Get out of my way. Ma'am, there we go. That was way more difficult than it needed to be. Alright, there's going to be 3 other bats. That guy's going to keep respawning, so we'll have to deal. And these bats just will get you when you're climbing the tree, so just go ahead and get rid of them. There we go. Awesome. So we're going to climb the tree, see what's up there. You can usually peek the tree, especially with Zora or if you're on Epona, but those fire arrows are pretty yummy looking. So we're going to go ahead and add that to our Road to Southern Swamp, because we for sure do need those since we have to fight Goht today. Fire arrow. So I'm going to go ahead and move that. There we go. I do my best to keep my notes as condensed as I possibly can manage. Alrighty. We can't do the archery yet, but there's a Gossip Stone right here. Road to Icona is foolish. I believe we already had that, but I lost it, so I'm going to type that in. Road to Icona Canyon. And little fun fact, there is some money right here. You can farm money by going in and out as long as it's before 10 p.m. And just these bushes are going to have anywhere between $15 and $20 in each bush, so you should get that while you can. We're also going to knock Tingle down. While we're doing that, we're going to take a picture of him. You can take a picture as any of the forms. And it'll say picture of Tingle. That's what we want. Oopsies, I didn't actually read that. Oh, don't be like me and mash A, please. Alright, let's talk to him again and actually read what we are reading. Alright, Donjuro's mask. We don't need that, so we're going to just leave it behind. Bye-bye. Alright, we like speed, so we are Goron. Whee! Alright, everything to do with the scrubs is something we do not have to worry about. So, oh, but there's 100 on that roof. So here's a little fun thing. Roll up as a Goron, go to the door, turn away, roll up into a ball, do your pound, and you'll just end up on the roof. Look at that, $100. Nice. Let's be sure to get our owl statue. Remember, you have to be a human and you have to hit it with your sword for it to activate. I'm going to go ahead and run into the swamp house right here. And we're going to go ahead and hand in our picture of Tingle. And it's about to be nighttime. So we're going to go ahead and show him the photo of Tingle when we have the option to look at the start screen. Dad here is going to be embarrassed. And he gives us a little bit of love to not say anything to anyone. How embarrassing. Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead and head back to town. And I think I'm going to go ahead, grab some potion and drop off the remainder of my rupees. Yay! Alrighty. So yeah, let's go ahead and head on this way. Again, we're going to buy some red potion since we have a couple bottles. Hello. Oh, I can't wear that in the store. It's not allowed. Alrighty. Oops. Don't press B when you talk to him. Just start trying to move over. And just buy a red potion. Easy peasy. And you know what? For the heck of it, I'm going to buy 2. Just in case if I need it later. What a great noise. Alright. I'm going to just drop off the rest of my rupees because I don't really need them anytime soon. If you press the R button, you can just max out on what's available to you. Alright, I do not need to worry about that. That was my bank 2 check for 500. Now that it's night, we're going to go ahead and talk to Bremen. You can talk to, or well, Guru, you can talk to him as anything but a Deku scrub. So we're going to do that. Oh, a postman's hat. So using the postman's hat to get a check is counted as a South Clocktown check, no matter where you get it. So just a heads up, South Clocktown is going to be where we're going to go with this. It doesn't have to be in South Clocktown, but just for the sake of getting it down, we're going to do the check in South Clocktown. You can do it anytime. You just have to wear the hat and talk to the mailbox. And with that, we get a bow. So we're going to go ahead and mark our bow in South Clocktown. Oops, South Clocktown. That's what I meant. Okay. Well, if that's the case, we know town archery is something we don't have to do. Okay, you're going to get some practice now. We're going to fly to Southern Swamp. If this is one of your first randomizers, don't hesitate with save states. Learn your save state controls on your emulator if you have them, and go ahead and use them freely. But because I have a road to Southern Swamp check, I'm going to do it. Because it is in a way of the hero location. We have till 10 p.m. and we have time slowed down, so we should be good. Oopsies. Now, I don't really need to farm any more money, and I'm having trouble clearly. But I do want some money to, you know, do this check. Alrighty. So I'm going to try and talk through this as best as I can. You might just want to concentrate, and that's perfectly fine. Alrighty. So we're going to start with the 5 scrubs up front right away. And, oops, if I can aim today. Okay, we're going to go ahead and look up at the birds on the right. Almost got that wrong. And while I'm there, I try and get that scrub. And then there's going to be a wolf that runs out. We're going to try and get the wolf as soon as possible because we do have to get a perfect score with about 8 seconds to spare. We got all the scrubs. Oop, but there's another wolf that sneaks out, so we get that first. The birds. We're going to have another round of scrubs and I believe a wolf. Oopsies. Oh, darn it. There's going to be another set of birds here. And let's get the scrub out of the way. Start firing because wolf. This set of scrubs. Oh, I missed one. We're going to have more birds now. I always just get that scrub in the top left last since nothing aligns with it too perfectly, unfortunately. Oh, come on. Come back out. This wolf. This scrub. We should have this wolf right here. And then 200 or 20. We get the scrub. We have 20 seconds to spare with this, so we should be getting both prizes. Okay, the first prize was nothing. And the second prize was nothing. So we have completed all of the Road to Southern Swamp checks. Let me double check that. Yeah, so we've gotten everything here. Unfortunately, it was just money. And I am going to go ahead and head on over to the swamp. So we do have the Woods of Mystery Grotto Day 2. I don't really have any checks at night I need to worry about to my immediate knowledge. So I'm going to head towards the Woods of Mystery. And I'm going to go ahead and just skip to Day 2 while I'm here. Yay. Alrighty. So we're gonna watch Kotake go away. She does this on Day 2. Now, the monkey will show you the daily route into or through the Woods of Mystery. It is a different route every day, but if you do this enough, you are gonna memorize at least Day 2. Great Bay Coast Ledge. So that's something we don't have to do. Nice. Great Bay Coast Ledge. There we go. And then when we get to Kome, we are just going to talk to her as a human. But first, we turn right on Day 2. We drop down into the grotto. It's a small chest, so chances are this is not a chest we need. Yeah, we didn't need that, so I'm not going to be too concerned with it. Oh, I did forget to use my toilet paper, but it wasn't late enough in the night. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the woods since I know the path. If you need to go back and talk to the monkey to guide you through, go for it. But once you get to Kome, go ahead, become a human. Now, we do have our red potion, but we're not going to give it to her just yet. We need to go talk to her sister first. And on Day 2, she's conveniently flying around in the woods for us. So we're just going to run over to her. If you need to just leave the woods and start over, that's fine. She didn't give us anything. Too bad. Bye, Kotake. Thank you for the little bit of love. I believe I came from this direction. Yes. And here I talk to Kome. I do get them mixed up quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and give her the red potion. There you go, lady. Yay! All right, another thing we're going to do on Day 2 before we head over to the boat archery and pictograph contest building is we're going to go do Deku Playground Day 2. Deku Playground Day 2 is by far the best day to do the Deku Playground, and you'll see why in just a moment. But basically, the Deku Playground is going to be, it's going to have slightly different platforming every day. The platforms on Day 1 just simply move up and down in space. Day 2, they move in these squares. And Day 3 is a combination of the two. So Day 2, we're going to turn it away. We're going to take out our ocarina and put it away really fast while the platforms are going in one direction. We do have to pay attention to the centermost platforms the most, because sometimes that takes an extra round. I'm going to go ahead and let that travel. And from here, we're going to start doing our trick. And this is great, because even if you didn't walk in with enough rupees, you're going to walk out. Or, yeah, you're going to walk into the game with your 10 rupees that you need if you do this. Of course, you can choose to play the intended way, but that's none of my business. So, we talk to the scrub as a scrub. Hello. Okay, so I'm going to spin in, and I'm going to pop out, and I win. Easy. Oh, wait, didn't we mark this check as dead? I guess I just showed you for fun. No harm. So from here, I'm flying back to the swamp. Alrighty. So I'm going to show you a way to avoid the boat ride. We don't need the boat in these settings, and I'll show you why in just a little bit. We do have to be a human, so let's go ahead and walk in as a human. You can walk in and it's anything you want. You just got to talk to the lady as a human. And so I'm just going to go back to the door, C up to look at her, and then Z target. Go ahead, speak to her until I get my item. Mask of Truth. Okay, so this is valuable because it is something we're getting from a Way of the Hero location, and we need it in another Way of the Hero location. So that's why it's valuable. So we're going to go ahead and change of plans. We are going to head back to Romani Ranch. Now, before I press A, I'm going to hold my joystick towards the door and mash A, so that way I'm not forced to ride the boat. All right, it is day 2, and it is during the day. This should be the last check in Romani Ranch that I have to do. Or I should say we have to do. Because we saw the doggy racetrack roof check. We already got a hint that the Bremen's mask is not going to be required. So we're not going to bother to try and find it. Well, get it from the business scrub, really. So we are going to be done with Romani Ranch after this. Fully cleared. There's Romani being all traumatized over there. Hello. You can talk to her with whatever mask on you want. We will try. Now, for this, you need 50 rupees. We have more than enough. All right, so Gold Boy is going to do pretty well. You can just put the Mask of Truth on and go straight to the Gold Boy. You need to bet at least 50. You can just go ahead and bet 90. Anything more than 50 will do. And now we wait. Usually during this, I condense my notes wherever possible. Oh, I removed that earlier. Let's go ahead and do it again. Circus Leader's mask, we have it, but we do not need it because Ranch Defense is dead and it's not required for that anyhow. Postman's hat, the mailbox didn't have anything, so marking it's not really necessary in my opinion. Picto Box didn't really find anything for us. We know where beans are. They're in North Clock Town. All right, let's see what this item is, because it's probably something. It's our hook shot. That's a little bit important. All right. Hook shot was found in the ranch. And one thing you kind of want to keep in mind is if you don't really know where you want to go next, look at the items you found in your Way of the Hero locations. Chances are that's a good direction to go. Okay. So, no, I don't want to play again. Thank you. So I'm going to go back to the swamp. Okay, here we are. So this next part you could theoretically do as a Zora or a Goron. You could just run right through. I'm going to go ahead and take care of this Octo with just my bow. But we're gonna cheese it a little bit because we can. So I'm gonna become a Deku Scrub and I'm gonna mash A because we have unlimited hops in these settings. This is not normal for the randomizer as well as the vanilla game. This is just something in these settings because we like to make it a little bit easier for our beginners. So between these two giant mushrooms or flowers or whatever they're called is a grotto. And look, there's something in the grotto. Yay! Let's go ahead and get it. Oh, it's Cafe's mask. We really don't need that in these settings, so we're not going to worry about that. But we will mark it on our tracker, like always. Oops. We have the postman's hat, too. Let's mark that. Oopsies. Okay. We hop, 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 hop. Alrighty. I'm going to show you a little trick around that area that we just passed by later. But I'm just going to be a scrub for the moment. And for ease sake, I am going to go ahead and just equip my stone mask. And for this part, I'm going to show you how to do it without beans. Now, once we get the gift from the bean salesman, we can always go the bean route. Especially with these settings, we start with bottles and Song of Storms. But I'm going to become a good old Deku Scrub, throw on my stone mask, which is quite the meme in my channel if you ever check it out. Awesome. Don't touch the scrubs. If you touch them, they will catch you, even though they don't see you. They can feel you. Alrighty. It always rains on day 2 in town as well as in the swamp. Ooh. So you can get that with a bean and some water, but you can also get that with the hook shot. This is considered the Deku Palace. So if we find something good, which we don't need that bow. We already found a bow. I'm going to go ahead and take off my mask. Run up to the bean salesman. Go ahead and get your beans. Most cases, I would suggest go ahead and buying some beans. We could have gotten those ones in North Clocktown. But that way, the scrub in the beginning of the swamp that will sell you beans will actually sell you the beans. So, good idea to go ahead and do that. I just like to get caught here. It's just easier. Alright. So you can go to the right and do this the vanilla way with those beans and some water that you could have gotten in that grotto. But I'm going to show you how most people who play the rando do this next part. So they sneak this way. Okay, before we move on, we are going to just kind of run around this part and check to see what that is. We want that or the Gibdo mask in order to get to the canyon, so we're going to go ahead and grab that. And we have our trusty stone mask on, so we don't have to worry. Oh, don't touch the guy. If you don't touch the guards, you won't get caught. So don't touch the guards. Oopsies. That is one of my complaints in this game. The camera is so wonky in some places. Alrighty, so here, you can do this as a human or a Zora. We're going to go ahead, and we're going to backflip onto the door frame. As a Zora, you can simply side hop and you'll be up. I would suggest immediately becoming human as soon as you do, so that way this scrub doesn't actually knock you off the platform. I usually take it out with the bow or the hook shot and just side hop over, so that way I don't accidentally hop off with no run up. And then we're going to just go in here. Again, if you have trouble with that and you need to pause the video and take the vanilla route around, that's fine. You can just unpause as soon as you get here. You're going to run in as the Deku Scrub, get nice and close, take out the ocarina, wait a moment, and then you will get your song, which is Elegy of Emptiness. Cool. So Elegy of Emptiness, oops. Right, this tracker doesn't work that way. Okay. So they kick us out. And you could take the intended vanilla way, which is up through there and using the flowers on top of the large flowers to get yourself through the swamp. Or you can hop over to this lily pad right here. See up looking at that corner, turn into a human or a Zora, and just roll. And oh, don't mess up like that. I messed it up. Wow. How embarrassing. Alrighty, we'll try again. We'll try again. Wait for the lily pad to pop back up. Usually I don't do that poorly, but today I did. We're gonna get it out of sight. Maybe it'll be more tempted to load again. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna look a little less than that. Right there should be good. And yeah, you can just hop up that way. You do have to become a scrub again. So this is one of very few settings where the Song of Soaring check is a song check. So we're going to go ahead and read this and get our second song out of the 3 that we will be getting, which is our Goron Lullaby. Very nice. Okay. And we already have Sonata and New Wave Bossa Nova, so we'll go ahead and have those checked. Unfortunately, we are not doing Windfall Temple, but Windfall itself is going to have some checks for us. So we're going to get those done now. Okay, there's 3 here. We immediately see a chest on our left, and it's a big one. That chest up there is nothing, so... Ooh, bomb bag. I'm going to show you stuff with the bomb bag today. You can hookshot to that chest over there. I think it's a little bit easier to go around the intended way. We don't have magic, so we're going to go ahead and take out these boys with a bow. Or you could do it with a sword. They just hit you fast, so I tend to not trust it. Okay. So when we go this way, regardless of if the chest is gilded or not, we are going to go straight for the owl statue because we don't have a good way to get back otherwise. Oh, it is a gilded chest, so let's go ahead and practice exactly what we are talking about right now. Fly towards the owl statue. And since we don't have to do Windfall Temple, this is a little bit unnecessary if I'm being honest. But good practice, good habit building. We're going to go ahead and do it. We fly, whee! And let's see what this is here. It is magic. This is important. Now we can actually use our bubbles. All right, let's go ahead. Let me look through my list to make sure we got everything and we aren't missing anything. Yeah, we did that. We did Woodfall. And we don't have to feed Adolwa. So we are actually completely done with all of Woodfall. The entire swamp, that is. But yeah, so this is awesome. We have a great start. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and fly back to town, and we're going to head north because we have another song waiting for us in the mountains. Just make sure there aren't any checks I need to do while I'm here. We already know a couple of the mini games are done. We can do Honey and Darling, but I would rather do Honey and Darling on day 3, so I'm going to put that off. Let me just make sure. I'm going to go through my checks. We are completely done with South Clocktown. We got the tree. It has beans. Tangle map purchases. We haven't done the Keton quiz because we don't have the mask, but we have done the Great Fairies and the Deku Playground. We do not have to do the Bombers. Oh, we do have the Bombers hideout, and we have the bombs now. So let's go ahead and get that check out of the way. Oopsies, I did not do that correctly. And I don't remember my code from earlier, so we get in our own way. Okay. Okay. I'm practicing my recoil flips. Those are very good to have down. We don't need the bottle of gold dust, but it's an additional bottle, and we could sell it if we want to, since we don't really need it for our settings today. But you know what? We checked it. I'm going to play with our ability to jump forever, because we can't soar out of here, unfortunately, so we just got to walk. And the kid should be out of the way if we walk out of here. Yes, he is. Awesome. Okay, we have done that. We can't do that without that mask. We checked that. We've done that. Okay. We are done with Clocktown for the moment. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and head north towards the mountains. Thank you for your service, Mr. Postman. Whee! So, while we're here, let me show you arrow cycling. You can either hit the this ice up here with 2 arrows, or you can, I just press the R button to switch between the magic arrows and the standard arrow that I have. Super nifty. So let's go ahead and roll on in. There's a gossip stone on the road to Icona, or no. I don't even remember what this is specifically called, since we don't have any checks there. Try not to do that. Pirate's Fortress interior is foolish. Okay. So, PFI. We can either punch these, or bomb these, or fire arrow these giant snowballs. We don't have any checks available to us in the mountain village right now, because we do not, I believe, have Song of Healing. Yeah, Song of Healing is this one right here. So we are unable to do our 1 mountain village check. So we're going to go ahead, run, hit our owl statue. Smack it. And let's head towards the Twin Islands, because we got a couple checks here too. And we get to do this the easy way today, because we have fire arrows. We're going to set a bomb right here. I'm going to go ahead and get this magic while I'm thinking about it. Ooh, what have we got here? We have our ice arrows. Yay! So we have all of our magic arrows. And we have our hook shot. And I believe we have both of the songs we need. So I want to say we're actually in go mode, but we'll go ahead and we'll do some more. Just to learn more about the seed, figure it out. Maybe you can grab some more heart pieces if you're not comfortable with only having 5 or 6, depending on if you got that heart container or not. We're going to see what Tingle has. He might have 1 additional item different than what we've gotten already. Tingle's a scrub today. And we don't want no scrubs. So the Gibdo mask works exactly like the Garo mask. I'm going to buy it for funsies. And In these settings, we don't need the Gibdo mask specifically if we have the Garo mask, because we have completely gotten rid of everything inside of the bottom of the well. So oopsies, if you fall down there and you have the Goron mask, you could just roll up. So don't freak out if that happens. Okay. That chest is nothing, so we don't have to worry about it. We're going to go ahead and go this way. Yay. And we're going to go ahead and just kind of, if I were in other settings, I would come over here and I would peek what's up there. But what's up there in these settings is not going to be anything important. In here, we're going to roll over to the Bebe Goron. In this version of the randomizer, we just have to go into the room. In the beta version, you have to play either the Goron Lullaby intro or the Goron Lullaby itself. So now we have all the songs but Oath to Order. Oath to Order will be vanilla, meaning it's going to come after the first dungeon that we've done. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and go through Goron Village because we had the opportunity to come up here. It looks like I'm not going to be going towards the ocean at all in this seed today, but I do plan on doing more of these, so we're going to get plenty of opportunity to learn the whole randomizer for the most part through these settings. This guy you can talk to either as a Goron or a scrub, and he will tell you what he's selling. It's a piece of heart. I'm just not going to buy it. You can if you want to, though. I'm going to find some magic. You could find some in the snowballs, big or small, rather than let the owl guide me, because I am impatient. And the Lens of Truth barely uses any magic, so I'm not worried about it at all. A lot of things don't use a lot of magic in these settings, which is just really nice. And if you are unaware, these ice blocks change daily. So if you don't know every day's pattern, take caution. Don't just jump into it. It's not a smart idea. There are 3 checks here. There's one you see right away. That is the lens chest. There's also one right here that I'm just going to take that spider out with. Nothing there. And probably nothing here. Yep. And that is all the checks in Goron Village. I'm going to just show you 2 more checks. In the mountain area because we're here. But I think from here we're going to go ahead and move on to beating the game. So, first let's find some magic. We don't have to worry about Hugo. That's the hungry Goron. Okay, so we're going to fly through here. It's okay if this takes you a few tries. Before we go over this ramp, we're just going to come right over here to this edge. We're going to check. There's just a piece of heart over there, so that's nothing to worry about. You can either back up so you can ensure you'll make it over that ramp, or if you do it just right, you can go around the side. In the middle of these 3 snowballs is a bombable grotto. I failed to do my recoil flip that time. And there is something in here, but probably nothing we technically need. Oh. Pieces of heart, since there's, or not pieces of heart containers, since there's only 4 of them in the game, they show up in big chests, which is just a nice little feature for us. Because the heart containers add up a lot faster than the pieces of heart do. But yeah, if I were to need to do Goht in these settings, or Goht as it's technically pronounced, I guess. Either way, it's a bowl. Hitting that owl statue would be pretty important, but it's not very important to... Wait. No, we are doing Goht today. So, now we become a Goron. We play our Goron lullaby. Okay. And I'm going to say right now, as we go through this one, which, by the way, resource collection, this snowball has your arrows. This snowball has your bombs. That snowball has a fairy. And this snowball has magic. So you're going to have to Goron roll through here with your spikes out. And from here, you can walk, you can punch the snowballs as we go. I sometimes do well. Looks like today I'm not going to do well, so I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to roll slowly up. So once we get inside of Stonehead Temple here, I'm going to do a save state. First, I'm going to show you how I would do this dungeon, getting to Goht. Then I'm going to show you the vanilla way in case if you just have trouble. It's okay if you have trouble. All of the checks, with the exception of the Goht heart container check, are dead. So we don't have to do it. It's Keezy. It's B Keezy. So we don't have to do anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and wait for the first guy to go again. While I'm at it, going to grab some magic. And you want to start the roll up against the wall so that way you get enough to go. Okay, from here, I'm going to save state. Oopsies. Wrong thing to save state at. Save state. Because this is how I would do the dungeon. So, I don't use the pillar. What I am going to do is come over here. I like to wear my bunny hood when I'm human. Hit the eye, quickly run onto this platform. And then it'll melt and bring me up. I will jump. While I'm still human, I'm going to hit that. I'm going to become a Goron so I can just go a little tiny bit faster. It's not important if you do that or if you just jump down and climb the ladder. It's fine either way. And then we're going to go through here. And we're going to just go ahead and roll down this way. Yay. Got to turn into a human. So I can melt this. Oopsies, got to actually do it. There we go. And we're going to run around. We do want to be a human for this next part. If you're going to do this way, I do suggest removing the bunny hood. If you sword slash, you will not fall off the edge. So from here, remember how I said fire arrows can take out these big snowballs? So from here, and since we have Deku Mask and Zora Mask, we do have a failsafe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump and sword slash right after I pass that one piece of platform. If I fell, what I would do is I would go into the lava at the very, very bottom level, and I would turn into a Deku Scrub or a Zora, and that would automatically bring me back to the door I came out of, which is that one right there. Nifty. Okay. We don't have to fight that whiz rope, so all we have to do now is just jump over there. Now, since I promised you I would show you the regular way in case if that seemed a little difficult for you, I will. So from here, oopsies, from here we're going to go this way. I'm going to go ahead and equip my fire arrows again. Oopsies. Okay. Around the cage, you're going to melt either one of those ices. And then in here, we don't need to kill the freezards because they just make another chest and we don't really need any chests. But if they're in the way, go ahead and just remove them. they can also be killed with 3 hits of the hook shot, in case if that is information you would like to have. Okay, you are in my way. And, oh, that's close. Okay, well, we're going to make the chest appear so we don't have to worry about getting hit by that freezer. The bunny hood makes you jump way further. Okay. We're going to go on ground pound right here. Okay, and I came in one way. I'm going to leave the other way. So if I'm coming out of that door, you're going to want to go left. Change into a human so I can cross safely without falling. And in pots on both sides, you have arrows and magic. So if you need a refill of either one of those, go ahead and crush these pots. Oh, it didn't give me my magic. Bummer. That's okay, we'll find more. We're going to run this way. If you want, you could just use a regular arrow through this torch in order to melt this ice. I think. Weird, I haven't had a problem with that before. Well, it's not working right now, so we're just going to use our fire arrows. That's weird. Usually that works. Okay, we're going to go back through here. Look for magic as we go. There's magic in these snowballs, at least. So yeah, now we have full magic. Yay! And you really just have to wait for the first freezer to finish. And then you'll be good. So from here, we're basically going to take the route we took with the other method. Man, I haven't done this in so long. It feels weird. So again, you can kill the freezer so you could just be on the platform when you hit the eye. But if you don't need to, don't worry about it. Whee! Okay, so as a Goron, we're gonna punch. Gonna melt this ice. And I'm just gonna go ahead and stay human for this version of the run. Okay. We are going to, if you feel uncomfortable doing this little ramp right here, it is easier than it looks. You can hook shot over to this torch. It's pretty easy peasy. So we're going to punch these slabs of ice out of the way. And we're going to roll or hook shot right back up. Remember, if you fall, just become a Deku Scrub or a Zora at the very bottommost level, and you can simply burn your way back up here. This one will have magic, as will the second, or the last one, I should say. And that brings me right back to where I was. So let's go fight the boss. Now, you can fight the boss however you want, whether you use the Fierce Deity Mask, or if you like the arrow method that I'm going to try and do today, or there's even just rolling around as a Goron, which in my opinion is kind of the most fun. Ooh. Well, yeah, no, I'm going to try the arrow way. But if you knock Goht down, hitting him with the Fierce Deity Sword Jump Slash or the Great Fairy Sword Jump Slash should get him out in not too many hits. So, very fun to do. I'm going to switch to a regular arrow because you cannot shoot magic arrows too quickly. Fun facts. Let's see if I could do this today. Oops, I got to get a better angle than that. Okay, that's a good angle. I'll work with that. What? Okay. Okay, game. Weird. Well, since that didn't work out, I'm going to use the FD mask that was given. And I'm just going to stand up on a corner. Where is he? Oh, he passed me. Okay. Fun fact, Fierce Deity is actually quite large. All you have to do is have your Z target and sword slashes in order to use the sword beams. If you aren't Z targeting, he will not use any magic, although I am having trouble getting magic. This is not the way I would usually do this, but I messed it up, so I'm just going to work with it. Oopsies. The camera kind of screwed me over on that one. There we go. So as you see, it works regardless of whether you're Z locked or just Z targeting in any direction. Yay, so that's one of our dungeons, and since this is our first dungeon, we're going to get Oath to Order right after we warp out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and be a Goron just because we can be faster that way. Rollin', 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 get that Goron rollin', rollin'. Okay. We're going to just grab the piece of heart since it's in easy reach. Okay. See, we learned Oath to Order. For funsies, we can get hints, but we don't need them at all anymore. And it's really just this one. We don't have to get any of the checks that are spring. There's quite a few. There's a good little handful. There's an invisible chest there. There's a grotto as well as a gossip stone in that cave. And if you go towards the Twin Islands behind the blacksmith house right here, you can actually get to 2 more checks as a Zora under the water. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get to night of the second day. And for myself, I'm going to speed time back up. Okay. Okay, before we head to Iconic Canyon, which I am going to go ahead and breeze on past since we have everything we need to beat the game, I'm going to go ahead, head back to North Clocktown, or just Clocktown. We're actually going to be going east, and I get to show you how the Sun Song works now. Because since we have the resources to get Chateau Romani, and having infinite magic comes in very, very handy, I'm going to go ahead and get that. We need to simply wait till 10 p.m. So, I'm going to get my mask out. I'm going to actually get my first bottle out since that's where it's going to go. We have plenty of money for it. But before I walk through this entryway, I'm going to just play the Sun Song from Ocarina of Time, which is right down, up, twice. This is going to make time fly. So I just need to make sure it doesn't fly so fast that it's too much. In fact, I went in a little too soon. So I'm going to put my mask on. And I could just wait. It won't take that long. I could have played it again, but not very important. So maybe you would have preferred to do this before Goht. Just in my opinion, the Goht battle's not that difficult. You just got to pick your favorite way to do it. We're going to have a drink of Chateau Romani. And we're just going to gulp it on down. I'm going to take my mask off. Drink my alcoholic milk. And now, we'll go ahead and be a Goron again, and we're going to head towards the canyon. For ease, I am going to get my hook shot. And you could choose between your Garo's mask and your Gibdo mask. I'm just going to go ahead and go with the Garo mask. I like it a little bit better. I like it how it looks. And we're heading towards the canyon. Let's go ahead and get a Epona over here. I'm going to just talk about the checks on the way. I'm not going to stop for them this time like I was saying earlier. But if you want to stop and check them, feel free. So I put my Garo mask on now to save me time in a minute. Try not to run into the Jinx bubbles. They will keep you from using your main sword, but not your Great Fairy sword, luckily. So this pillar on my left, it has a chest you can hookshot to. This red boulder, you can punch it twice as a Goron. And right there is where Shiro is. In that little circle of rocks, you do need to have magic as well as lens and a bottle that you can put red potion, or I think blue potion also works as well, in order to help him out and get his check. That's the stone mask check right there. So we got that dude to put a tree up so we could hookshot. I'm going to just be a Goron as usual. We have infinite magic, so I don't really have to worry about it. In this case, you don't have to worry about anything that way. There's just a scrub. If you turn into a Zora and go into the water and go left, you'll find the secret shrine. So usually you would just ice arrow both of those octos. I'm going to go ahead and just do this my way. Which is... come here. I think this is a little too close. Yeah, it is. Ow. That double defense is really doing me a bunch of favors, though. Alrighty. Yeah, if you get in just the right spot, you can hookshot to the tree. Ow. Stop it, you jerks. Oh. Okay, these guys are pissing me off. There we go. Like I said, you could just ice arrow them, but I'm not going to do that. In fact, this looks like a great spot. So as long as you have pretty precise binding on your analog stick, you can make that work pretty nicely. Okay, so little tidbit of what's around here. You have nothing to worry about in Iconic Castle, which is through there. That house up there is the Great Fairy. You don't have to worry about that. I believe you never have to worry about Pamela check. Let me go ahead and double check that for you really quick. I could be wrong. Oh, no, you do have Pamela check. That one's not ruled out of these settings. Tingle's up there. By the way, resources. That grass has a fairy. I think this one has bombs. Come on. Bombs, arrows, and magic. So if you need any of those resources, you can check the grass. We got a hint that the Poe hut is dead, but I'll show you where it is. So for Pam's dad, you'll have to go into like where Sharp and Flat are, and you got to play Song of Storms, which you start with. This right here is the Poe hut. You have to pay $30 in order to get through that, and then you fight the Poes from the Forest Temple in Ocarina of Time. If you were to do Pamela's dad, you would need Song of Storms and Song of Healing, and you'd go in here, play Song of Storms. You would get Pam out of the way so you can go into the music box house, go downstairs, use Song of Healing on her dad for a check there. But we're going to go straight to Stone Tower Temple. We do not have any stone tower checks, luckily. So right here, I would just turn into a Zora, run over, and we're going to show you the easy way to do this, the fastest way to do this. So we're going to step on the very first button. We find a Zora, play Elegy, right, left, right, down, right, up, left. And we get to stay a human the rest of this climb. So go up to platform number 2. Keep in mind, we hit button number 1, we skip button number 2, and we are going to, as a human, doesn't matter as long as you press this button and play Elegy again as something not the same model as the first button you hit. And remember, you can't use the Deku Scrub because the Deku Scrub's too light, despite the fact that it's a tree. I don't get it, but I'm going to go ahead and hit the edge. The second block is more than enough to hookshot this eye platform. Okay, so now we're going to hit this. This is our new button number 1. Me doing this as a human is going to move the statue off the first button, so we're going to get a little cutscene about that. Not too badly, though. So from here, you can hookshot either the eye or the BMOS. And all you have to do is just run over button number 2. Okay, and don't play Elegy on it. You don't need to. Okay, hide behind the eye platform so that way you don't get lasered by the BMOS. And then we're going to jump on this platform. I recommend going to the right side of it. And once again, playing your Elegy. So that's going to remove the statue from the button, and it's just going to carry you where you need to go. From here, we're just going to hookshot all the way up. Oh, that's a fun sound font on this song. Okay, owl statue. These 4 pots have resources including magic arrows, bombs, and a fairy. So if you want or need any of those resources, go ahead and load on up. So now we have literally nothing to do in uninverted stone tower temples, so we're going to go right to inverted. So first, we're going to step on the switch all the way on the left, play our Elegy. You're going to learn that song really well by the end of this run. But that is the last time you should have to play it. So now we're going to use our light arrows to flip this dungeon over. Okay, and once again, I have 2 methods that I'm going to show you how to get through here. So let's get in there and I'll get my save state. Okay, so I've save stated. Here is the method I like to use. We need bombs. And if you mess this up, it's okay because your resurface is just right there. So you can just run over here. So I ran to the left and I ran to this first line in the tile floor. Okay. So from here, I'm going to line myself up just a little bit, like either at its level, maybe slightly lower. I'm going to go ahead and sword slash as close to the edge as possible. So I like to get my sword right here to where it's just kind of touching this little intersection of the bricks. Has a very small amount of space between the upside down face jawline here. So from here, easier said than done. I'm going to put a bomb behind me. Oops. Not with a shield drop, so I'm going to redo that. Okay, so I got to line that up again. But it's okay, I just get to show you again. So yeah, I'm going to just put the edge of the sword button roughly at that intersection. This placement is a little bit of a window, so you should be fine. I'm going to drop the bomb behind me and look to my left and Z-target. And then I could just... I press forward so I can grab onto that platform. And that gives me the opportunity to just hookshot right up there. I could hookshot from where I am, or I could go back to the beginning of the dungeon. I'm going to go ahead and just, I don't have to do a save state in order to show you the vanilla way through, so I'm just not going to now that I realized that. So we're back to the entrance of the dungeon. So here's the vanilla way to get through, in case if that method is not working for you. I'm going to go right, and I'm going to do a series of tedious tasks. I rarely do this, so, you know, if I get a little lost, bear with me. There's resources in some of these crates. We're going to just hit this with our lights. And we're just going to run through. Okay? So, I always forget if I should go left or right. I believe we should go right. I'm probably incorrect, but we float up. Yeah, I was supposed to go the other direction. That one gets you to the center of the room height-wise. This one will get you to the highest point. If you just kind of hug the wall, you won't hit the spikes. And then we'll go through the door. And here, we're going to flip this room over. We have double defense, so I'm just going to kind of ignore the fact that I'm going to get hurt running through here. It's not a big deal. You could just simply roll across as a Goron to avoid getting hurt. But I didn't want to take the time to change my mask off and on. Or on and off. Alright, so we flip the room over. We're going to be flipping this room over a lot. So as you see, this part's pretty tedious, which is why I prefer to skip it. Might have to kill these silly chews as we go because they just take so much time to deal with. Or they make our life hard, so we're just going to go ahead and... They will respawn, which is nifty in case if you need more magic or arrows. I'm going to pull it one more. Hey, I said I'm going to pull it one more. And then I'm going to push towards the center. And then we're going to flip it over again when we can't push anymore. And we are going to push it this way. Okay, so that's where we want this block to end up. One of our chews respawned. We're going to go ahead and take care of him. The other one's not bothering us yet, so we'll go ahead and leave it alone until it does. By the way, do not stand on the block while flipping the room, in case if that's not obvious. Because then you have to start all the way over. Because you will crush yourself and void out and back in to a reset room. And we don't want that. Okay. Go ahead and get my arrows filled with this bro right here. Okay. So climb. Hop on up. Okay. Alrighty. In here, we have to defeat the Wizrobe. You see all this stuff I'm skipping? Okay, this is a fire, so ice would be best to fight this Wizrobe with. You'll need 4 ice arrows total. Sometimes we can get a third one. Ooh, and we did! I've been getting pretty okay with that, especially when the dude's far away. Okay, I did that too soon, if it's possible. I'm not sure if the 4th hit is possible or not, but we do only have 1 more hit left. And he keeps ending up in the same spot. So now we're going to wait for the chest to appear so we can just hookshot up there. And run through the door. Okay, so from here, we got to be a Deku scrub. If the Poes are worrying you, you can hit them with the scrub. There's a chest up through that way, but we don't have to worry about it, luckily. Oopsies. Well, I avoided that guy. And if you were playing like tournament settings, you would have to go that way to get your boss key, but we just get to go to the right. And then we would end up where we would be, so we could simply just hop over and hit the button. Now, if you're worried about that guy, what you're going to do is you're going to flip him over with a light arrow, and you're just going to try and get him to stomp on you. And then he will destroy himself. Alrighty. So I already hit the button. The chest already appeared. I get to just hookshot right up there. And through the door we go. We do have to fight Igor, which you can fight him with either bombs or light arrows when his eye turns yellow. So I just get close and hit him. You only have to hit him twice with either one of those items. Ow. He's really good at aiming the rock towards you, so like, oopsies. So move out of the way when he smashes the ground. Oh my gosh, I'm doing so poorly. I believe if he's just like stomping, you can stun him with a light arrow, but I'm not going to waste my time on that. There we go. And as you can tell, with as many hearts as I have in double defense, I am just completely good with face tanking a lot of the time. Not always recommended. In fact, let's go ahead and be safe, see if there's a piece of heart. No, just money. Alrighty, well, we don't need any more money this seed. Alright, so from here, all you need is your hook shot. We're going to wait for that to go up. Hook shot this, and we're going to have a chest appear that we can hook shot to as well. And up we go. If you land too close to those spikes, they will hit you. Okay, we're going to fall down to this little beam right here. Before I go through the boss door right ahead, there's a beam directly underneath me, by the way. Some of these pots are going to fly at me. These pots should have mainly magic arrows, bombs, and hearts. Alrighty. So the easiest way to fight Twinmold is by far FD. So we're going to go ahead and equip the mask onto one of our C buttons. Hop down into the sandy abyss. Once we get through this cutscene, we're going to put FD on. And since we have our Chateau, we can just spam our Z targeting sword beams. So yeah, if you were to fight these guys with magic arrows, you could hit the blue one with 3 fire arrows and then a regular arrow. You could hit the red one with 3 ice arrows and a regular arrow, or just 10 arrows will do it. Oh, I missed. I wonder if I could get over there on time. Okay, I'm just gonna... Like I said, I have infinite magic. I'm spamming it. Oopsies, I wasn't angled very well. Ooh! If you had the Giant's Mask, you could also destroy, like, these platforms coming around. Oopsies. Oh, hey, we got him. Usually, the moving target is not so lucky, even if you are Z-targeted. Oh, I never marked Goht. There we go. Okay, so now we just got one more to defeat, and then we get to head to Majora after that. Okay. Where are you? And I'm fierce deity. Okay, so we're gonna just... Oops! Crap! Stupid Z targeting. That was my controller. My bad. Ooh, okay. I can work with that. Okay, looks like I gotta hit him 2 more times for him to be knocked out. Oh, how'd that miss? Come on. There we go. So now I'm just going to skip to the final night, and then I'm going to go to East Clock Town and play the Sun Song, so that way we can just go right to midnight super fast, and we can go fight Majora. Oh, hey, look, the Blast Mask. How fun. We don't need that at all at this point, but, you know, it's okay. Okay. We didn't even get to touch the ocean this seed, but that's okay. We got to touch grass, and that's important. So yeah, I'm just going to head on over here. This is where I like to wait right before, so that way I can avoid the cutscene of the stairs falling as well, because if you play the Sun Song during that, you are screwed. The moon will crash into the tower, and you will get pregnant, and you will die. Okay, so now we're on night of the final day. A 1 cycle. That's pretty good. Alright, so now, see, I'm going to play Sun Song. And time's going to go by really fast. So I got to hurry up. And there we go. See, already got to 1 o'clock. I was very slow. I'm finally going to pick up this heart piece because why not? It did get me an additional heart. Alright. And I think you have to play Oath as a human. I'm not sure if it matters. But I'm just going to go ahead and say it does. Now, it's always kind of a shame when he has a silver rupee, because that means you can't put that money in the bank if you wanted to. Because you can't get to the bank once you're up here. The only way out is Song of Time. It's like they planned it or something. Rude. Okay. Alright, so now we play our Oath. Otho, say, can you play a song? All right. Right down, A, right, or no, right down, A, down, right, up. So the boys helped us. The boys in their mustache hula skirts. It's faster to go this way, but the child will not talk to you. Or just, like, won't let you go fight Majora if you're anything but a human. So you're going to be a human. You're going to have FD ready to go. And this part with Fierce Deity, if you've never done Majora with FD, oh my gosh, it's the easiest final boss fight you'll ever fight in your life. You will see seasoned players take out FD. Because it is just the easiest and fastest way to end this game. So why not, right? And since we have infinite magic, we get to spam. You could do okay if you don't have magic. I have had a magicless seed before. It was a blitz seed. It gave me 3 completed dungeons, so that's why. Okay. Alright. Just while we're at Majora's Mask phase, I'm going to go ahead and take out all of these boys right here. Cool. Now they won't bother me during the 2nd or 3rd phase. Okay. Phase 2. Here's Majora's incarnation. He's a little silly guy. This is all we have to do. For the rest of the game, this is all we have to do. Now he's going to get swole. And have an actual body and not just the... not just the mask. See? The mask became shoulders, and there's a pelvis and everything. See? Z target and spam. All done. Alrighty. Good job. You just beat your first, or maybe not first, but you just beat an MMR. So these are our bunny hood settings. These are our easiest settings to work with. And I do plan on doing a few more of these in the future. Maybe we'll do some every now and then that are a little bit tougher. But as far as these play-alongs go, these are one of the best ways to learn a randomizer. Even better if you can get someone to co-op with you live, like one of our M mentors in the Bunnyhood Club. But even if you're not really comfortable socializing like that, you can just play along with me in these videos. So thanks for being here. That was so much fun. Thank you for playing with me. Like and subscribe for more, and go ahead and comment below to tell me how you did, how you feel, and which one of these randomizers you want to see next. Here's a little list of the randos I would like to take you through. We have Ocarina of Time Randomizer, aka Zooter. We have the Wind Waker Randomizer, one of my favorite GameCube games of all time. We have a Link to the Past Randomizer, awesome game. And we have Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy Color. Alrighty, I'll see you guys next time.